Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all. Welcome back to the Ireland Esports Collegiate Series powered by Nerdubs. We're back here with F1 Fridays, and it is good to be back indeed. Did unfortunately miss the last round, but I'm caught up. It's good to be back in the box, and we're here with Marky Mock. How you doing, my friend? What are you thinking? It's Japan tonight.
It's Japan, and the championship couldn't be any closer either. Liam looked like he was going to fly away with it, and then all of a sudden he had one hand in the championship, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Freedom and Levante have dragged his hand off of it, and now it's all for grabs again.
It's all for grabs once again, indeed. I mean, you look at the standings and you look at after we've just crossed the halfway point of the season, and yeah, you can see here 89 points to 88. Liam Carrick is just, I don't know what happened these last two rounds, it seems like, because we had Spa, of course, what happened at Spa, and then I'm sure it's like you're probably better to call this one in terms of what happened with last round, but that momentum he had at the start, where do you think it's gone?
I think, like last week, it was more so like he had a spin earlier on, but he was fighting back after the spin, and then he took a weird pit stop strategy on the safety car, and he came in the middle of the pack, and then there was an incident in the middle of the pack that he was involved in. It wasn't his fault, it was someone else's fault, but it kind of ruined him. So the pit stop strategy last time wasn't on point, that cost him, and then obviously in Spa, it was just a freak control accident, so not his fault, but you know, he might be feeling the pressure, especially with Freedom. You know, two of the last three races, he's come out in the very last flying lap of the qualified to take pole. So, and even in the Spa, he was not Spa. Before that, yeah, Spa, he was like within a tenth of a second on his flying lap at the end of taking pole. So, he's breathing in his neck. Levante is being as consistent as ever. So they're right breathing in his neck now, and he's got the show today. Can he pull out the bag? Can he pull out the fire? Because the pressure's all on him now. He was flying, now the pressure's on. It's all about how you handle it. And that's 4-1 for you. You've got to handle the pressure, and we're going to find out, can Liam Caddick do that today or not?
Yeah, and that is the real question. Is like, can he pull it off today? Can he get that gap? Because, of course, we are coming to the last few rounds of the season now. So, of course, it's Japan tonight. But then we've got just two more. And then that's when a champion is crowned. So, looking at the top three, they're 5 points within of each other. So, you got Carrick, Freedom, Calibri, and then Drippin has been putting in some good work. But, yeah, down in 51 points. He has got a heck of a bit of work cut out for him here. The question really on my mind as we come into Japan, and of course the track that it is who do you think is going to come out on top in quali in the race? Because they're very different challenges, I find.
Yeah, definitely. The race is more about, you know, managing your car, managing your tires, managing your fuel load as well, to an extent, the battery, especially the ERS, because there's not really too many big braking zones where you can get the ERS back. So that's about what the qualifying is all about, going as flat out as you can. And obviously, you know, it's not the easiest course in the world. It looks very flat. Obviously, it goes uphill. It looks very easy at times, but you know, especially that sector two, the hairpin followed by spoon corner. That's where you lose time. You go wrong and all you lose in a second.
Yeah, and the really big part of this track is with the S curves in particular. You look at some of these areas on the track, and you got to understand that when you say get a bad exit out of turn two, just coming off the start finish straight, trying to carry some momentum through turn one, if you mess that up, you haven't just lost time through turn two, you've lost your entry and potentially lost your rhythm with turns 3, 4, 5, 6 and beyond. And that's the real kicker here, and one we're about to find out, because we are loading into the game now. No delays this time. We are on the dot. We're here with Nerdubs. We're about 20 seconds out from the race, or getting onto the track at least for quali. And I'm pretty excited because we've got some good drivers here tonight.
We do, yeah, definitely. You know, everyone's been showing up. You know, last week it was battles all over the place. You know, especially at the end, the battle for first, second, and third was crazy. You know, we had obviously Silent Sword was driver of the week last week. He had a great race. And then you had Levante and Freedom fighting it out for ages. You know what I mean? Ultimately, it was Freedom's tire choices. He went mediums to start, and then he went hard to finish, and that helped him in the end. Levante was fighting at him, but with a few laps to go, his mediums just kind of went on him. So, you know, softs. So he was on softs. He was medium. Sorry, he kind of went on him. So interesting to see what the strategy with this time with the tires. And it was one stop last time as well. So we're seeing a few more one stops coming into it now, and that's interesting. So the whole pack's getting close. It's not just that Liam has had a few bad races. He's under pressure. It's that everyone's getting better as the season's gone on. They've all been getting better. So we love to see that.
Yeah, they're really refining their craft. You can see some of the progression coming out of these drivers. If nothing else, oh, what has happened here? I think we've had a think we've had a little bit of a lobby bug, so we're going to take it to a little bit of a technical pause here. I think something has gone wrong with the lobby. Oh boy, it's complete downpour. I wonder if this is full wet. I think this looks like full wet. Look at the density of the rain.
Yeah, it looks mental. Those tires are gonna be perfect. They're all gonna be on the wet tires anyway to start this out, and hopefully it's a dry race then, because otherwise they're gonna be in trouble with their tires going into the race. But yeah, they're all obviously going on the wets. They have to. They've no real choice. But very interesting. I'm sure they're all cursing the lobby breaking now, because this is changing up completely.
Yeah, and it's looking like the clouds aren't going anywhere anytime soon. I got some telemetry data here pulled from the session, and it's looking like that for the entirety of qualifying, the percentage chance, so basically just how severe or how likely it is going to continue with the same weather, is static throughout. It is about 50%, mind, but it is static throughout, and it's predicted clouds the whole way through. So we are going to be seeing a wet quali. Though curiously, not much info about the race, at least nothing coming through yet in this sort of pre-lobby.
That's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens for the actual race. You know, that's the thing about Japan as well. They go at a weird time of year where it's kind of in between seasons, so you still get the rain. So obviously they can't go during the monsoon season, else it's gonna be flooded track the whole time, and then they can't go during the really hot time of year because that track heats up ridiculously much, so your tires just explode. So they have to go in between seasons, which makes it interesting. But they're all going out early here. Most of them going out early. Half of them anyway. Who's staying in? Mini Kai, Silent Sword, and CJ and Levante all staying in for now.
Yeah, it looks like we've already got. Ouch! Ouch! Indeed. Like, what's gonna happen there? Don't know what's happened.
He went into the back of somebody. To be honest, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it just seems like he's just got into the back of him. We saw it just coming up to the S-curves. I don't know if that's going to be applied in full to the session or the lobby's going to be restarted. I'm not sure if the rules, just where I'm trying to draw on some knowledge from League Racing, if you get grid penalties during quali, usually it gets overturned, but of course we'll see from the stewards from the team here as to what's going on with that one. But yeah, Liam Carrick, he's out in front. I think he's just trying to get something clean out first. I think he knows that he's not going to be seeing any better weather than now, so maybe going out early, getting a lap with a clear state of mind, not being under any pressure from your opponents, might be the good move from him, especially considering his last couple races.
Yeah, so I'm wondering will he stay out late as well this time, because every time he's kind of come in with a minute or two to go the last two races, and that's allowed freedom to really get freedom with the track, and also post a ridiculous time. Like, again, 2 of the last 3 times he's taken pole on the very last lap of the session. Never mind his last lap, the very last lap of the session. So I wonder will Liam this time stay out for the whole session, maybe come back in if he sets a good time here, and then come back out with 4 or 5 minutes to go and try and set another one. I think that'll be the best track, because he's allowed freedom the last few times. Either get close or take pole.
Yeah, and also looking at the field, it looks like he's immediately getting a validation. That's going to be Liam Carrick's lap validated and out of the running. So Freedom's going to be the only one. He's going to be the first one to get a lap actually out on the field here. We'll keep an eye on him, as it seems like he's got a very good line through the S's. He's balancing the grip and the tyre as well, because he's also struggling a little bit to keep temperature, at least from my metrics.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get that up to speed right now, but he's still doing well there, true. He's not really hitting the apexes either, which is smart, unless he has to. Obviously, sometimes you have to hit the apexes to get the best out of the car in the turns, but when he's having the choice not to, he's not, because obviously when those apexes are wet, they can spit you out, and it takes all the control you have just not to spin, and it can slow you down a little bit as well, because you're maybe braking a little bit too much, or you're trying to accelerate out of those corners, and you get the wheel just spinning a little bit in those apexes. So really important that he's not hitting them unless he absolutely has to. He's taking a good line through them, but he's not hitting them unless he absolutely has to at the moment. He's just trying to get a good lap here. I think he's just trying to feel out the lap right now. He's not really too focused on anything. He knows that Liam won't be posting the first time, so it's not the end of the world here. And there is a bit of an issue. Well, there was a bit of an issue in Sector 3, but it seems to have cleared up now. That's a good time. 117 through Sector 2 right now. Obviously a long circuit, 5.8 kilometers, so you're not going to see it in less than 135, 140, probably. In the rain as well, it's obviously going to be a few seconds extra. But it's a good so far. He's coming through now into the start-finish line. What's he going to post? 135. Wow, okay, I was wrong. 135.32. That's a good first lap.
Very good first lap indeed. And you see a couple other cars coming through now. So I think Nico is going to be finishing a run. What's he going to be coming out with? So the 137.6. So a couple seconds behind Freedom. And the initial pace has been set in this first run here. You can see just in the background, Levante, 35.295. So just 37 milliseconds faster than Freedom here. And certainly a moving target being created that, I don't know, it might struggle to match in places, because this is a very difficult circuit in the wet. You saw with his lap, he was so gingerly with the curves. He was only touching it if it was absolutely critical to his line. And even then, out of some of his exits, there was a little bit of snap, a little bit of slide that he had to rein in.
Yeah, definitely. Ghost out. Didn't have a good first lap there. He's not done well there either. Silent Sword, the man of the week last week, finishing third, P3, of course. They both finished P3 in qualifying as well, but had a bit of an incident at the start of the race, but then came roaring back and was within the shout for first as well. I think he was being smart, hoping that Levante or Freedom kind of made a move that gave him a chance. But good lap here so far. He's moving through the corners nicely. Looking to get good now as he comes into this difficult chicane. He's really struggled there. He's gone off a little bit, obviously not invalidating the lap, but he did not take that corner well at all. What's his time going to be? He's going to be P3 right now, but he can definitely improve. That last sector there just really struggled on a little bit.
Yeah, but he did very well there, I think, because he did have a little bit of wobble, and that's going to be Liam Carrick down in the pits. Minicar's going to be starting his lap here, so let's see what's on board with him. But yeah, so Silent, he did well there. I wanted to pay attention to the gears as well, like the little things that really separate the wet driving from the dry driving. It's things like short shifting out some of the corners. You think, well, you want to be in the heat of the power band, but that snap in power is what breaks your rears loose in conditions like this. So things like the gearing, or even just downshifting slightly earlier. It's all these little things that make these cars just a little bit more bearable, because even with the traction changes in this game, they bite. These cars do bite.
Yeah, they really do. They really like hugging that track as much as they can. Those wheels are really like getting the grip, and that's what you see later on as well when the tires start to wear. You really see the wear, because that's why they coded the game. It's beautiful. It's like a proper F1 sim in that regard. It's fantastic for it. But you know, definitely want to see those big shift changes, and especially as well, obviously in qualifying, not back that big a deal, but the ERS later on, how are you going to conserve that? Because again, there's not too many hard braking zones. You're going to get that power back during the race, so that's going to be interesting during the actual race itself. But Minico here, a good lap so far. You know, nothing too flashy, but also nothing too bad either. He's definitely going to post a decent time if you get rid of this quarter properly. It's going to be a few seconds down. I think he's going to take P4, just 300 seconds, about 400 seconds behind Silent Sword, so not too bad at all. And here comes Silent Sword again, trying for another fast lap of his own. He's coming through this really important turn 1 and turn 2 that you have to get really properly correct to get the optimal speed into those S curves. Oh my word, he's at a spin. That's what I talked about. Hit those apex wrong at all, you're going to go flying in the wet.
Yeah, they did punish. They do punish wide lines in the wet, particularly. Those curbs are not to be messed with. I think he was kind of going on a cooldown 8. Oh, you see it go again, just trying to get back, snapping on the power. The snappiness of those curbs and how much they bite is something you've really got to be careful of, as drivers are quickly finding out. But here we go. Got CG here coming through. Decent second sector time, much improved on his previous run. So 42, remember 37.6 to beat, and that's going to be Nico up in P6. Can he get it through? Say the chicane. Nicely done there. So just keeping it honest, keeping it true to the inside. And up in P6, he is going to get it. 137.3. It's a good job on him.
Yeah, definitely very good job from him. He hasn't had the best races so far, so you have to prove on that as he comes through. Of course, Nico as well had a very good race last time. You know, he said he didn't want to finish last. He didn't finish last time. He had a very good race indeed from him. But Silent Sword, of course, that lap is dead in the water. Of course, we saw him spin out twice, so this lap is nothing. If he's going to come in the pit, he might go again. I'm not sure what he's going to decide to do here. He doesn't really care about taking the line properly anymore. He just wants to get that speed up going into the start-finish line to start a lap, if he's going to do that, or if he's going to come into the pit. That's the big question at the moment. But Liam Carrick is back out now, and he's on his out lap, and he'll start his own lap now, coming, of course, through this very long, from the start-finish line, so a very long straight. He's going to make turn 1 dangerous in the actual race starting out.
Yeah, so you look at it, it takes a little bit of a wider arc through turn 1 to really nail the best line he can through turn 2. Up through the S's now, very aggressive on the curves, a little bit dangerous there, but he holds it on, he keeps it true. Coming down to the downhill segment here, and it looks like he's got a fairly good handle on the car. The thing seems very stable, which you wouldn't really expect coming out of these conditions. So he's definitely done a bit of setup tuning, I imagine, to try and account for this. I imagine he was maybe let the car look a little bit more softly sprung, or even just raising the ride height a little bit. Does sacrifice some peak downforce, but in conditions like this, getting that grid position makes it worth the trade-off.
It really does. It's, you know, if you sacrifice downforce, obviously you're going to lose a bit of speed, but you're going to gain that back easily on the grip, the grip you have on the track, the friction you have, the way your wheels are getting. Obviously, he's hitting those apexes beautifully as well, and he's taking these corners with really aggressive lines at times. Obviously, you saw one of them, he's bounced over the apex. Didn't invalidate his track, of course, because only 2 wheels off, so absolutely legal, but he's definitely making it interesting so far. The gears here as well, very high gears coming to some of these turns, and he's not really. He's using a lot of ERS though, so that's helping his lap a lot. He's going to take that chicane as well. Very aggressive again. It didn't quite work out there. He had to snap the car back in and lose a bit of time for that, but he's going to gain a lot of time. Here's going to be 133 or 134.
It's 134 flat. What a run there. 1.2 seconds clear of Levente, next fastest driver. Freedom, interestingly, he's gone softs because look at race control. DRS enabled. So we are in fact seeing better conditions to the point where race control, the FIA, has decided, you know what, you can go slicks and you can have drag reduction. I wonder what they're going to make of it.
Yeah, and Liam stayed out as well. He wants to improve his time as well. Obviously, everyone's going to get that DRS. He'll get it as well now, obviously, but obviously his wheels aren't going to be the most optimal for it, of course, because you want to be on those slicks to really get advantage of that extra speed from the DRS. But you know, definitely try his best here. Is Nico coming through? Now, what's he going to post? He was a good time. He's going to go up to P6 himself, so he's improved. He's taken back his spot from Ghost, so he'll be delighted with that, but he's still going. He wants to improve on that time even more.
Yeah, I think now the real kicker is everyone wants to be on the slick tires. As soon as they said race control, DRS enabled, I think that was the telltale sign. It's time to get on some rubber, because you look at the track, it's not as slick as what it once was. The rain is still coming down, but I think we've seen enough running to where a quote-unquote dry line has been formed. So now everyone is going to be just completing the laps with the current conditions best they can, then maybe coming in on a set of softs, maybe waiting a little bit longer to see if other drivers can clear a little bit more water, can clear a little bit more time for him. Here you go, say Ghost, despite being on outlap, is going into the pits. He wants on that slick too.
Can't really blame him. You want to post the best time you can, especially with not long left in the session. You know, 6 minutes left, so even if you go on the softs, they're not going to be ruined for race time. And also, since you're going soft, intermediate soft, you're going to have those sets anyway for the race themselves. So it's not a bad strat in any sense of the word. You see as well that the track is drying quickly. There's far less spray coming on the back of the car, as you're seeing kind of the tarmac getting more dark in areas, showing that it's not wet. Because obviously, tarmac when it's wet looks a bit grayer than it does black. So definitely signs the track is clearing up quickly, and CCG here is the first one out, really on an outlap with those softs, so he'll be hoping to get something going here, hoping to get a bit of time back on the track. But again, he's taking those turns pretty conservatively so far. Hopefully that's not the case when he comes into the actual flying lap, because, you know, being conservative during qualifying Suzuka is not really going to help you at all.
Yeah, well, the big thing here, I think, for a lot of these drivers is not so much the grip that they're going to see now they're on the slicks, it's the temps, because the rain has stopped coming down, but there still is rain on the track. And water, it can absorb a lot of heat. So that's why the wet and the intercompounds are so much softer and get absolutely shredded when you switch to dry running. It's because they are designed for the water to take a lot of that heat and still being within operating temp. So the fight here, like we're going to see from CG, although he has done a fairly good job, you can see the rubbering and the track also getting much drier now, along with his tires going darker on the surface. You can see he's got the temps in, he's got the grip in. Let's see what he can do. First car out on soft.
Yeah, obviously he's got a full, pretty much a full ERS battery as well, so he'll be able to use that as well as the DRS zones to generate more pace. He's taking this turn one very nicely, came to it beautifully. Still a bit scared of the apex, and that's okay. That's not going to drive anywhere near as quick as the rest of the track is, obviously, because the temperature of the track is going to increase way quicker than that compound that the apex is made of. But he's taking these S-curves beautifully as well. Very nice on the inside. He snaps a bit there. Bit of understeer coming out the back, and that's going to cost a little bit of time. He goes over the grass a little bit there as well. I'm not quite sure why, but takes that very aggressive. They'll try to get some time back here at the end of Sector 1 as he comes through now, doing well. He's trying to build up some pace here, but he's going to meet this hairpin pretty quickly, and he's going to try and find a way through. Nice breaking point. They took that beautifully. That's a beautiful hairpin turn.
Yeah, he's really taking a good line through all of this and really making the use of the slick tires. I think wet to dry running is a lot easier than going from dry to wet because you're used to being a lot more gentle with the car, being a lot more gingerly, a lot smoother with your inputs. So now, of course, that they've got the full grip back, they're kind of getting neatly surprised. You can say, oh, actually, you know what? I can take that curb. I can take that apex. Look at me go.
Yeah, for sure that's what we're aiming for, and obviously people will start probably coming out now from the pit as well, because it's getting near that time now that if you don't go now, you're going to get 1 lap instead of 2 by the time you get back around. But CG here looking to get a good time. He's on a good time, to be fair, coming into this final few turns, so interesting to see what he's going to post. He could be 134 as well. He will be. He's going to be... Oh, he's only a few hundredths of a second off, only 5.051 seconds away from Liam, so that just shows the speed that's increased with the track going dry, the DRS right back out there.
And you're crazy though to think, because this is a complete compound advantage compared to the Inter, and Liam still got it by half a tenth, which is insane in terms of speed. Goes to show really how much he's pushing, but Carrick is on top for now until Minikai comes in, 33.1. Is Nico gonna break that cycle? We'll of course have to see in a minute. You've got a couple of other drivers who are going to be coming out on their outlaps now, but next one to keep an eye on is gonna be Nico.
You got to get around nicely with these taking those. Yeah, he's taking the apex a lot more aggressive now. Knows they're drying out. Not quite as quick as the track, but he's also got the slick, so that's going to help as well with the friction on those apex as well. So he can be a lot more aggressive around the track. He's catching up as well, Midi. So he's already posting a better lap for Midi because he's catching. Midi has decided just to let the lap go. Oh my God, he's gone spinning. He just couldn't quite get the snap back on the car, and he went sideways. Luckily, he went into the wall backwards. So. Of course, the backs are invulnerable in this mode, so he's not going to see any damage, but that's a rough one.
The irony is definitely not lost on that Shumi quote he's got on the Halo there. First you have to finish, but it seems like he's struggling a little bit, so that's a second spin. I think he's just dirtied up the tires too much. He's not making that for a good run here. I think Ghost... Oh no, Ghost got an invalidation, so he's going to be conserving for his next run too. And then you got a few other drivers who are still on their outlaps, like Carrick. You can see he's going full RPM. He's trying to burn fuel, really trying to optimize here. He's going for it this one, now or never.
Yeah, I think he's aware of what's happened the last few times with Freedom, of course. He was out himself, and he's in his outlap now, so he wants to get something good going as well. Obviously, try and do what he's done the last 3 races and try and disrupt Liam and try to push for that pole position with his very last lap. But right now, Liam is definitely the man to beat, and he's saving up, getting ready himself. He's got the full DRS battery, so he'll have all that to use, as well as the DRS, as well as the dry track. So the goal to beat, of course, he's got 900 of a second to catch up, so 9/10 of a second to catch up. But with DRS and with slick tires, that should be an easy job for him. But let's see how he goes here. He's been a bit more conservative than he was on the outlap we saw earlier on, but interesting to see here as he goes through those S-curves now, and he's taking them beautifully. The car spins out a little bit, but not out of in control way. Just kind of, he let the car drift out to get a better angle on that S-turn. So he's doing well here. He's letting that car dart around the track, showing the best line he could take, and just really getting everything he can out of those corners right now, which is hugely important if you want to have a good time.
Yeah, and you can see the checker flag has fallen now, so 3 minutes until end of session. Minikai's not going to be getting any better. 33.1 is the time to beat here in this session. Few other drivers are going to be out on track and a little bit further ahead of Liam. Like we've got Levente, who is going to be further up. I think we also got, that's the CG, that's Ghost, in fact, who is furthest up ahead, and he's going to be the next one to cross the line. What's going to be the benchmark from him? You can see, comes through final chicane, then down to the start, finish straight, looking very good on time. It's a 1:30.538, and you can see the other cars are coming through.
They are indeed. It's going to be interesting to see Levante coming through now. Can he find a new? He can indeed. A 128.789. That's a huge gap between them. But here comes Liam. What can he do? What can Liam Carrick do coming through this final turn? It looks very good, but can he stop 128? He can. 128.316. And now Freedom. What can Freedom? Silent Sword, sorry, coming through. He's not going to pip it. He's going to finish in P2 ahead of Levante. But here comes the man. Once again, the final lap of the race, but he's not going to be anywhere near it. Liam Carrick is going to be on pole, Silent Sword second. No, Freedom second, sorry. Silent Sword will be in third, and Levante in fourth. So that's the top two rows. But Liam Carrick has not fallen under the pressure. He's come right back out and said, bring it, lads. I'm ready for this.
And yeah, bring it, he absolutely did. You can see 28.318. What a run there for Liam Carrick. He's going to be taking pole here in this session. Freedom P2, Silent Sword P3, Levante P4, Ghost P5, Minikai, CG, and Nico rounding out the bottom three, with Nico not getting a new run on the softs thanks to that earlier mishap. But what a run. What a run, honestly, because that was certainly something.
It was indeed a fantastic qualifying. Again, we've seen a few of them in a row now. You know, with the first one, you know, Liam could retire halfway through the session because he set such a good lap, no one was catching him. But ever since then, people have been catching up and getting close and qualifying. And almost again as well, Freedom, once again, Hub was taking pole on the very last lap of the session, but not this time. Liam denied him this time. I believe we are going to be resetting the lobby as well just to cancel that penalty. Don't know if it's already been done or not, but I believe that's what Liam has. Sorry, Large Grady has said. So I'm unaware if that's happening now or if it's already happened, but I'm sure the drivers won't be happy if we come back to another wet race after seeing that beautiful sunshine a second ago.
Yeah, I think the track is set to dynamic, so that is certainly going to play a little bit of havoc with drivers, because I imagine they're going to think, well, we've set up for sun, then we set up for rain, then we set up for sun again. What's going to be next time? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. And that is kind of all she wrote. The problem is, for a lot of these drivers, they need to be adaptable. They need to be adaptable. They need to know where they stand on this track. Of course, we saw a pretty good, in my opinion, pretty good rep from a lot of these drivers out on just the quali session. We started on the inters. We saw them get to grips with the limits of the track, kind of being a little bit more careful with the curbs. And then as the track got dry, you really saw them start to push, especially as the temps went up, those seconds started dropping. I don't think we got a full chance to see that, not from everyone, especially like Nico made that mistake, and a few others kind of went a few minutes before the end, so that meant the track wasn't fully up to dry running. And I am curious to see, if it is full dry, how especially those who didn't get a chance to fully flex their muscles really perform.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be really important that they get a good start and stay clean. So again, as I said earlier on, that it's such a long way down to that turn one that anything can happen going into it. And you know, again, that turn one and turn two are so interconnected, so important that even if you're a little bit off, you're going to be behind already. So it's all about the drivers trying to stay clean, especially the front. They'll try to get away as quick as they can, give us just a bit of distance from the rest of the pack so they don't have any issues. But it's gonna be interesting. Turn one is always interesting in Suzuka. It's never really, you don't see turn one in Suzuka go without incident too often anyway.
Yeah, of course we can cross our fingers, but I am expecting a little bit of fireworks coming out of these first few corners, especially if we have any fighting going into the S-curves, because if we've seen anything from these drivers, they ain't letting up. They are not letting up. There is no way that we are not going to see a little bit of fireworks coming out of these guys. Turns 3, 4, 5. I am expecting to either be smooth as anything or pandemonium. And even with reduced safety car, we might see it come out, but time will tell.
We saw it last week. We saw it even with the true safety car. We did see a proper safety car last week. So you know, you can never count it out. Just because it's reduced does not mean it's not going to come out for an incident, and it did last week, obviously. But you know, definitely gonna be interesting. And again, it's all about, you know, Liam especially. I think he'll be a little bit concerned. He's been the victim a few times now from a start incident, so he'll be hoping to get away clean and establish that lead. But he's got 3 people behind him that have all improved week upon week. Silent Sword, especially, he come out of nowhere recently. He's had a good qualifying there. He looked very confident in his racing. and he's gonna put up to them as well. But Liam will be hoping to get away as quick as possible, and hoping the three behind him are fighting for second place when he's getting away, just so they're fighting, so he gets more time.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers kind of had to hope that the others start fighting, because there isn't really, like, we don't have the sort of traditional setup that you do see with F1 circuits. You don't see like a big DRS swing like you do on the others. You got the start finish straight, but that's kind of your fill. Like, you do have, of course, say coming out of Spoon as well, that's an opportunity into 130R, but really what's going to make the difference is how hard these drivers are going to fight, and how hard the others are going to fight too, which is going to give the opportunities. Kind of like vultures in a weird roundabout sense. We're going to see a lot of vulture action going on. Let two drivers fight in front of you, pick up the spoils when they burn all their resource.
Exactly, or if they make a mistake, and they both make a mistake, you can get through that way as well. And obviously as well, you know, again, this one's gonna be, as I said earlier on, the ERS is gonna be so important here, because there's not really any big braking zones apart from perhaps the hairpin and the chicane, where you can get a lot of that energy back. So it's gonna be how you manage that as well. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Again, not many overtaking opportunities, and Suzuka is one of those places where your start is really important. So it's all about the start. If Liam doesn't have a good start, or someone else has a great start, he could find himself in P2 or P3 come end of turn 2.
Yeah, and the start really is going to be what sets up and defines a lot of the rest of the race. If anyone can get a real getaway, it's quite common to see them just run away with it, because again, the DRS and those kind of mechanics aren't as much of a factor here in Suzuka, so much as it is high downforce, high grip, and you get a little bit of things like aero wash, you get a little bit of dirty air kind of coming in here, and to what extent we of course have to see, but those S curves are going to be brutal to anyone who tries to throw a challenge. We're just waiting now on, I think is Nico, just diagnosing a couple of in-game issues before getting back to the game. They crashed. They have to check the force feedback works before they jump into the race, because especially on a wheel, force feedback, you know, just kind of important. Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
You know, just can define your whole race. You know, just define your whole race if it's wrong. You know, it's not a big deal. No big deal. It's not. But yeah, you know, obviously we want to see everyone being able to drive as best they can. That includes their setups, obviously their own in-game setups. So their wheels, their controllers, whatever you're using. That's really important. Of course, we saw how important those things are in Spa when Liam got a bit of stick drift and his car met a wall. And you know, wall's always going to be car.
Yep. So in the ultimate game of rock paper scissors, wall beats car beats other car, stewards beat racers, and that is the
nothing beats wall, and nothing beats wall.
Nothing beats wall. Wall is immutable. Wall is wall is always there.
It's like that you know, the Friends episode with the rock paper scissors and Chandler joined us the fire. That's it. That's the wall. Is that the wall is just like fire, the fire version of that. Fire beats everything. Wall beats everything.
Alrighty, but I say, while we don't hope for any fires or walls, it looks like we're about to see some fire on track, as the drivers are now about to jump into Suzuka for the race good and proper. Quali is set, races are set. Here is your reminder of the standings as before we head into the race. Keep in mind, Liam Carrick and Freedom, they're locked in horns. They're locked on a very crucial battle. 1 point separates them. I don't know what's going on with my words today, but 1 point separates those two drivers, and they are very much on even keel when it comes to skill, when it comes to being able to extract the most out of the car. We've seen it in prior races. We saw it in quali just now. We're about to see it come race time, which we're about to jump into. Let's do it.
It's also important to note as well that if Avante wins the race, he takes championship lead. Doesn't matter what happens, he's championship leader. Even if Carrick or Freedom, whoever finishes P2, takes fastest lap, he'll still be top, because it's obviously an 7-point gap between first and second in terms of points. So it's whoever the three wins, the top three, if any of them win the race, they're gonna be championship leader at the end of today. So no matter what happens, no matter if someone gets the fastest lap, whatever, on top of their second or P2 or P3, whoever wins this race is gonna be top of the leaderboard. So Liam Carrigo would love if, you know, the two lads didn't finish P2 or P3 and he took the race. But Silent Storm might have something to say about that. But it's, you know, definitely it looks like a 4-man shootout right now, and but a 4-man shootout and 8 people is pretty good.
Yeah, this is really what I love, though. So what we love to see is those tight-knit battles, not just for the top spot, but all up and down the field. Like, we're not just seeing battles for the top three, we're seeing battles a little bit further down, few drivers lowering the points. But that is where we leave it for now, because time is of the essence, and we're about to get onto the formation lap, folks. So, looking at the strategy, oh, interesting. Silent Sword on the hards, CG and Nico on medium, everyone else on the soft. What do you make of that one?
Yeah, do we think Silent Sword wants to do a one-stopper here? 27 laps, obviously it's a very long track, so he might be thinking about coming in maybe lap 15, 16 maybe, and then going on the softs to finish out. You could be looking at one-stopper. Obviously, a safety car ruins that straight away. If it comes in too early, it kind of ruins that strat for him, but it's not a bad idea. Everyone else, of course, all the ones on the soft are definitely on maybe a two-stop, if not. It'd be weird to see them go soft hard, but you never know. But it does seem like Silencer might be setting a stall early here for a one-stopper.
Yeah, I think we could see a soft hard. Depends how much he conserves those tires and really leans into the hard compound in the early stages of this race. But looking at the rest of the field, it looks like we will be seeing a good mix of pit timings, because everyone's starting on predominantly the softs, but the medium and hard is certainly going to change things up. I don't think we're going to see a single stop strategy from the medium runners, because I feel like they're going to be either, say, trying and losing time on the mediums before switching to two sets of softs, or even going medium to hard. They could play it a little bit conservatively.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Obviously, if you can stay within, 25 seconds, you're giving yourself a chance at least at the end. You give yourself a chance, but I think you're on the medium, you're probably looking at two-stop. One stop is doable. It's going to be really difficult. You want to get everything you can out of those mediums before you come in for the hards. So it's going to be more difficult, but the hard to soft is definitely a strategy. It'd be interesting to see if people who are on the softs, if they want a one-stop, if they'll be interested in doing a one-stop. So I think if you're starting on softs somewhere like this, I think you're looking at a two-stop. I think if you're going to do one-stop, you start in the hard to give yourself a good chance at the end if you're still in the race with the softs.
Yeah, you could dodge a lot of the pit timings, a lot of the other drivers on the field too. And not to be sort of like blunt with it, but you're losing a lot of time when you get to the last 30-40% of these tires. So yes, you could do a one-stop with, say, soft-medium, but is it worth it? That's the question these drivers have got to answer, and this is where we're about to jump into things proper and find out.
For sure, we're waiting for those most famous lights. I think there's any more famous lights than the ones that start out any F1 game, but any F1 race. But also here they go, the 5 of them lighting up slowly but surely. They're about to go out soon. There they go, lights out. And they're off, and who's starting well here? Freedom looks like he's going to start. Liam, though, gets away nicely. He's gone in front there. He's going to keep himself in front, but everyone at the back bunching up. Bit of aggressive there, but Freedom staying right on Liam's wheel as he comes through those corners. He's looking to give a bit of a shout there, maybe looking up the inside for the S-cars to start, but he decides to pull back in. Everyone gets away clean. Well, there was an incident, not quite sure what happened. It was in the back of the field. There was an incident to the yellow flag, but I'm not quite sure what that was. But a good start from him, good start from Freedom. Good start with Levante as well, takes a position too, so he'll be delighted with that, and starting to drop down position as well from that.
Yeah, so CG completely dropped out of the running there. I'm not sure whether they got tapped. I did see a flying end plate at some point in the race. You can see Silence already on the defensive because Ghost is coming up hot on him. He's going through the hairpin. Levante's catching up to Freedom and Liam Carrick, but you got two ongoing battles here. CG's kind of been sort of left out of things, but he is making up some good time at least. Mind you, going side by side, coming into Spoon, even dipping a little bit on the grass is Ghost. Levante is going to be getting further up ahead, but all eyes are on this mid-pack, as right now you've got Ghost and Silent Sword fighting two different battles. Swords on hards, Ghost on softs. So the grip difference is going to be staggering. How long can he keep Ghost behind?
Not just the grip difference as well. Oh, well. Ghost there being a bit aggressive, and that's twice now he's gone off track in this battle. He will get ahead, but playing a dangerous game there. One little mistake later on, that could be a penalty, so that could be huge later on. As well, the temperature difference as well. Those softs are going to heat up way fast, and those hards are to the proper track temperature and to get into the perfect zone. So that helps a lot as well. But oh my word, look at the battle. Liam's delighted here because Levante and Freedom are fighting out. That's going to Liam to pull away. I don't know if that's the best strat for these players, but Levante will get, sorry, Freedom will stay ahead for now, but Liam's able to pull away out of DRS range already as we come through in lap 2 to the second sector.
Very brave going into the S-curves there. Really, I don't want to say optimistic, but you can see how hard they're pushing. Levante's making snaps left, right, and center. He's lost the rear grip quite a few times now, and I'm very sort of apprehensive to say that either driver has really won this fight because he's still in the clutches, but Freedom just had a better handle on it. And even when they're fighting through the S-curves, really great etiquette and really good sportsmanship, by the way. They were properly giving it their all. This is good hard racing.
Indeed, Ghost here looking for the repoint side of the sword now. He got the losing position there. He's gone off the track again, and he has to start being worried now about those that penalty for track invalidation. So you can see the track limits, so have to be very careful. But definitely good fight going on here still between the two of them. Well, Liam's made a little bit of an error there through that sector 2 because Freedom's caught up a good bit, and here's a chance that goes around the outside. Very brave, and he's at the cutting. He's got off track completely, got his braking point all wrong. To be fair to Silent Sword, he was very brave on his own defense there. He took the brake late on that chicane, and that made Silent Sword have to go out the track. Perfectly legal what Silent Sword did, and nothing wrong what Silent Sword did. He was very brave, very aggressive in that turn, but cost Ghost not only time but also put him off track again.
I'll say with Ghost's case, it's his responsibility to get around the other cars safely. So even if we call it a bit Greta's defending, if Silent Sword's ahead, he has command of the corner. He should be leaving some space if he's alongside, but he simply didn't have the speed or the control of his speed to keep it on track. So naturally he went off, and that unfortunately has left him 1.2 seconds behind, well out of the catchment of the DRS.
Yeah, for sure. I know Levante, of course, isn't that catchment, but he's burning a lot of ERS to stay in there. He's down 50% already. We talked about that earlier on, how important that ERS is going to be later on in the race, and you need to consider that. Of course, once you go lower than 10%, then it doesn't get back as much either, so it's important to balance that out nicely. But Liam is pulling away here. He's got a 1.2 second lead outside DRS range right now, but that could all change as we go through the race. For such a technical track, it doesn't matter what happens. If you get one thing wrong, you're losing it at least half a second, and that could be huge. But he's taking that chicane beautifully, and he's coming down here at the start-finish line again with a good lead. He'll be out of DRS range again. No, he won't be, actually. He's just inside it, so can't Freedom get, but Levante's popping up as well, right behind him, using that DRS to get right back in Freedom's rear-view mirror, which is exactly what he'll want.
Yeah, but look at Freedom. He's really burning everything to try and keep in that tailing range of Liam Carrigan. It's just not really happening. You can see he's losing significant amount of time, particularly through the S-curves. So the setup may be having some key differences there that's resulting in him losing a bit of time, or even just a couple of mistakes in his lines with the pressure from Levante behind. Ghost is also catching up to the back of Silent Sword. He has recovered from his prior mistake, and all these soft runners are kind of in their own race. Silent Sword's there, CG, Minikai, yeah, and Nico, interestingly, has gone on to the hard compound, completely changing their strategy. But all of the soft runners, they're in a world of their own, they're in a race of their own, because they're just trying to get as much pace out of these red walls before they have to go to something else.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to, of course, give themselves as well a free pit stop if they can over Silent Sword. That'll be the goal. You know, at least as close to a free pit stop as you get, even though the 13-14 seconds. That's going to be massive later on in the race, obviously. We have a virtual safety car. I'm not quite sure what happened. Something's gone wrong anyway. I'm not quite sure, but we do have a virtual safety car, so that's going to bunch everyone up again. Not bunch everyone up, it's going to keep everyone in the same pace, so you're not going to see anyone get close or get far away, but interesting to see what happened there. I'm not quite sure. Oh my word, and Nico's there's gone into the sand trap a little bit. He's got it again. He couldn't get the car corrected in time, and
I think we found our cause.
Yeah, his wing's gone. That's exactly what it is. The wing is entirely gone. It's not even on the car anymore. It's gone. I don't know what happened there, but he's after losing the wing.
Yeah, so now with the VSC, everyone's got to respect the deltas. They can't make any advances on their time, and they're going to have to be super careful of that. Even with all of that said, drivers can use this time to maybe recover a little bit of energy. It does provide some attack options, especially for the likes of Freedom. You see, look at him. His battery is going way back up now. He was on 10% when we last saw him, now on 54, and looking to get even more before that harvesting period is over, because the VSC is still out there.
maybe there's a bit, maybe the wing is still on the track or something like that. That could be the issue. Obviously, because they go in, like they would in real time. CG there has, of course, got a penalty as well, so that's not going to be helpful for him at all, especially when he's in that battle. But he's a good few seconds ahead of his opponent, so it shouldn't be too big a deal as we go through. But definitely the battle here is going to be the top three, and that's the way it should be. The three championship leaders are going to be fighting this out to the end, and that's what we love. We don't want to see a one-sided race where the most exciting thing is just who's going to get the fastest lap. We want to see a bit of a battle on the track as well.
Yeah, because the point split is so tight here. 89, 88, 84 points. That is the difference between, let's be honest, just a few positions. That's not much of a points difference. So they've got to keep their wits about them. One mistake could be trouble, as Freedom sees there, loses the tail a little bit, but as does Liam Carrick, and this could be crunch time as Freedom's going for it.
Yeah, he's got a DRS as well, which is huge, and Avante has a DRS as well. Can he get ahead? No, he can't. Unfortunately, there Ghost has finally got his track violation penalty. It was going to come. He made too many errors in being aggressive against Silence Over. Freedom has now taken the lead. It's a three-way battle, and it's like the closest three-way battle you're going to see. There's three drivers who are all pushing each other to be better drivers, better racers, to be better competitors. They're not going to give up until that checker flag goes. And again, Gozer's had an error. I'm not quite sure what he's done as he spun, but we saw there, obviously having the ghost, because in case any cars are coming through, just make sure there's no accidents to those cars that are going way faster than him. But he's had another issue as well, and Silent Sword now is able to pull away. He hasn't actually. Ghost is still within time of him. Ghost has actually got ahead of him, man. That is crazy to see. Ghost still has that penalty. Silent Sword won't be too concerned, but Ghost is pulling away very quickly from him as well.
Yeah, I wonder what's happened to Silent Sword over here, because it seems like something's... I can see the issue. He's missing an end plate. He's lost a crucial part of his downforce now, so he's struggling. Maybe that contact from Ghost earlier, which caused him to initially get the place and then hand it back. I think we're starting to retrace our steps here a little bit, and I wonder what's going to be said about that. But back up to the top, you got Carrick up in P2, with Freedom currently leading and Levente providing pressure from the rear.
See, Freedom would love if those two got in a battle, but now they both got DRS and Freedom has none, so Freedom's able to defend. He's got enough of a gap to defend this one, I think, but if Liam and Levante can keep this smooth coming into the rest of this lap, they can get him next time. We saw there, that start finish line is so long, that straight is so long. We saw Freedom was a bit back at the time when he got that DRS and still managed to make the move, and Levante caught up massively with Liam as well, so it could be a huge issue coming to the next start finish line time straight. Carrick here is really putting the pressure on now, Freedom, making him know he's there. He even had a look on the outside just to make Freedom think what's going to happen. He's just trying to make him twitch a little bit, and that's a smart thing to do when you're behind. Make the person ahead of you twitch, make him make the mistake.
That's soft power. It's that pressure, subtly teasing your opponent to make them drive that little bit harder, make them force them even into making some kind of mistake. That is the mind games that are at play with these kind of races. Because if Liam Carrick, if he's within quarter of a second at the start of the DRS zone, he's got the place. It's that simple, and he knows that better than anyone on this field right now. So if he can keep that proximity, even if it means burning a little, even if it means going a little bit more aggressive, saying to 130 as we're seeing here, because he's within a tenth, he's coming right up close and personal with that rear wing. But that proximity, if he's within 2/10 to a quarter of a second, he's got it. Let's test the theory. Although he didn't get the best exit out of the chicane, this could be Levente's chance though to get a run. You see him going down.
It's going to be three inside here going into this first turn. Freedom was really able to defend it. He's defended it very well, to be fair to Levente. Perhaps a bit too aggressive there. Liam kind of messed up, not only coming out, but also going into the entry to the chicane. He gave Freedom a little bit too much respect. Perhaps he was too close at the time, but he gave him far too much respect. Took the entry weird and took the exit weird as well, and that cost him about 3/10 of a second, which is massive for Freedom to keep that position. But Freedom once again has got the looming sight of Liam Carrick, the championship leader, the man who was untouchable for 4 races, sorry. Oh, Liam has gone sideways there, and that's going to Levante have a bite him now in the next start finish line, assuming Levante keeps it clean. Oh, Freedom's gone sideways!
He's completely out. He's gone down into P3. He's out of this fight. He'd lost it in the hairpin. I don't know what to make of it.
After we talked about earlier on, you get your break point wrong at all in that hairpin, and you are in a world of trouble. And that's exactly what happened there. He had to break very hard, very late, and that cost him just to come into that corner a bit too awkwardly and spin out with his car hitting the apex and spat him out, and he couldn't keep control. And now it's Levante versus Liam, and this is going to be interesting fight. Levante is going to have a look up the outside here, and he gets him as well. Coming into the chicane, he takes the chicane beautifully as well with that aggressive move. Of course, Liam will have the DRS coming into this DRS
he's
zone.
Blundered it. He's blundered it. Watch this. Liam let him go because he's about to get it right back on DRS. He made sure that he got ahead of the detection point just so he could take it straight back and decline that move.
That is a very smart move as well, but can he get ahead of Levante enough now? Levante though, Liam has gone very wide, and Levante has taken the lead. 2 mistakes in 2 laps from our race leaders, and Levante says thank you very much. I'm gonna run away now.
Yep, he's looked at the podium, he's looked at the P1, and the other 2 drivers making mistakes. He's all good to swoop right in there. Signed, sealed, delivered. It's his. And now, Freedom is going to be breathing down Carrick's neck.
Absolutely, Levante is going to take that all day week, but Freedom as well gets the comeback. He takes that hairpin a lot safer than he did last time. Smart move by him, but Liam, Freedom and Liam have been just imperious at times in this championship, making 2, let's call a spade here, very silly errors. They were not, Freedom might be forced a little more, but Liam was under no real pressure at the time that he went very, very wide, and that allowed Levante to come through and take the lead. And Levante now could be a championship leader come the end of today.
Yeah, and this could be the decider for the lead of the championship as we head out of this round and into the final races of this season. It's all going to heat up. It's all going to come to a boiling point, and we're seeing now that we're about the 50% mark on the soft compound wear. So this is where we're really going to see drivers, say, on the medium or any other compounded tire, even earlier softs, really start to get an advantage because we're reaching that crossover of starting to lose pace. And whoever's managed their tires and their compounds better, those crucial couple percent is going to mean absolutely everything. But something's happened at the back of the field. That's Nico off at the S's.
Yeah, he's gone to stroll. He's just having a wanderly stroll. What's he? I don't know. He's letting everyone by. I'm not sure. Is there an issue or is something going on? I'm not quite sure there what's happened. Because he's letting everyone by. He could have came back. Well, maybe come back on the track. Maybe been dangerous. And then he would have got another penalty for it. So maybe made the right decision. But yeah, again, Suzuka showing that it takes no prisoners at all.
Yeah, and I think the game, whether, say, sportsmanlike or not, the game is certainly not smiling upon him. He got handed 10 seconds for track limit exceeding, despite losing time. I'm not really sure what to make of that one, and it's likely it would get overturned if it means anything. So we'll, of course, wait and see on what that brings. But look at these 2 and how aggressive they're driving. Neither of them have got DRS. Freedom's just outside of Carrick's DRS range, and you can see how aggressive they're trying to be. Like, look at this line for 130 yard. They don't even think about letting up. And into the chicane here, they're taking as much curb as they can, even touching a bit of grass. Oh, to Freedom's expense, as that is just a little bit too much punch. And he's going to, even, in fact, head into the pits. I think he's taken that as his call to come in early, get himself on a more optimal compound. He's straight in that pit wall, and he's onto the hards. You might want to maybe he's thinking about the one stop, obviously with everyone so spread out as well, and Suzuka having nice runoffs. There's no really any area that is too dangerous in terms of if you go off you're straight into a wall. He might be thinking there's going to be no safety car in this race because of the gaps between everyone right now, so that could be maybe he wants to do a one stop from here, and if you're going to do it, now is the time to do it, to be honest. But interesting to see now how do the other guys respond. Do Levante and Liam Carrick come in, or do they stay out for a few laps and really stretch that soft to its 20 to 30% range? That really at that point staying out is detrimental rather than a good idea. But Ghost there is he's trucking along. He's in P6 obviously. He's got loads of penalties, but he's CG's right behind him. So definitely some fights still left out there, but right now it is Levante who is in total control. But Liam has cut the gap down by about 0.4 of a second since Levante took the lead, so this one might not be over either in that regard. Yeah, to say the time will be the tell, and the pit wall is gonna have to be on their toes because all of a sudden, the moment Levente goes in is the moment that Liam Carrick goes in. Because as the leader, and I always say this,
They both just got
you
in. They both just got in.
control. Yeah. Oh, they've both gone in. They've
They
both
both
gone in,
got
and
in,
there
yeah.
you go. Literally speaking of, Carrick straight onto the hard compound, as is, I imagine, Levente. No, Levente's on the medium. Is he going to stretch that one stop? This is risky. This is very risky coming out of Levente here.
It is, but does he think that he can get those few, maybe he can get a good few seconds on him, get back on softs and come out and tackle him at the end? Is that his goal, maybe? He wants to get maybe probably 10 to 12 laps out of those mediums and then come in for softs and tackle him when his hard is starting to go. Is that the strategy? I don't know if it's a wise one, but that could be what he's thinking.
Yeah, it could be part of the process, or even if nothing else, having the ability to get some initial time gain on the hard runners and then not have to worry too much. So let's say you do lose time and maybe he does come to the back of you. It's a lot harder to overtake than it is to defend. So gaining track position is going to be a lot more of a task. I always say that if you've got a fight going on, yes, they may have enough pace to break even, but have they got enough pace to also gain the spot? And that accounts for quite a lot more than what many think at first. But here we go. Freedom is back in the fight after taking that early stop, and he's right on Liam Carrick's tail.
Yeah, he's obviously got the undercut, he's got the temperature, the tires with temperature as well, which Liam's not going to have maybe a lap and a half more. So he's got his DRS zone as well. Of course, those tires with the temperature going into that DRS region is really going to help him even more. It's going to be an extra advantage. Look at his DRS, it's so low. And obviously coming in 2 laps there, it means his tires are going to deteriorate quicker. So even if Liam does get up the position here, as long as he can stay within Freedom's range, then he's got a chance of taking this race. Because of course, we're probably guessing at this stage that Levante is on the 2-stopper.
Yeah, Levante, I think, might be going for the 2-stop strap, but the time that you lose in the pit lane is going to be an absolute death nail to that strategy unless they play their cards right here. Oh, looks like Nico is out, though. I want to try and see what has happened here, because this is a full core. This is a full safety car, folks, because Nico, you can see just to the left, there's a tiny bit of debris left of what was his car. Yeah, he's completely out, and safety is in full effect.
Yeah, and Levante must be kicking himself now for that one, because he's got to make a decision here now. Does he go back in, or, you know, because his entire gap is going to be decimated, of course, with all the cars being bunched up now as well. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. What are people's strats? Some people haven't had pits, and obviously Minikai, Silent Sword, Ghost all coming in as we expected. Obviously in a safety car, it's just, if you haven't pitted yet, it's the best time to pit. Especially as well because they're all on those mediums as well, so they'll be loving that. The fact they can go on either the hard or soft. Ghost is chosen soft, so you know it's gonna be interesting to see what happens now. And all of a sudden, from Levante having total control, he's gonna be reined back in with Freedom behind him and Liam Carrick right behind him as well. So interesting to see what's going to happen here at the restart. Of course, Levante will have control of it. So and, you know, obviously with that chicane as well, he's got tactical options with that chicane being there too.
Yeah, well, I honestly think like there's no way Levante's going in, because to do that in his position would be strategic suicide. He's got control of the race position. He knows Freedom and Liam Carrick are not going to be... Oh, saying that, they've both... What? I thought they were taking those hards to the end of the race, but they both come in. They've seen Minikai's got 57 seconds, and I think they're chancing it. Yeah, they're going on the medium. I was about to say that Levante could have a potential advantage because these next few laps under the safety car are going to be super easy on the tyres. And I think Freedom and Carrick have read that too, because they've just gone in for a fresh set. Levante actually is in trouble after all.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. That's a very smart tactical play from both Freedom and Liam Carrick. But the question is, how long is that safety car out for? If it comes in this lap, then he's okay. But if it doesn't go in this lap, then he's in a lot of trouble. It shouldn't go in this lap. It should be the next one at minimum. But you never know. You never know sometimes. This game can be a bit odd, but Levante, you're praying it comes in this lap. I don't think it will. And then all of a sudden, he's been undercut entirely. And his whole strategy has gone out the window. And all of a sudden, Freedom and Carrick have 3 laps of extra tyre on them.
Yeah, that tire deficit or advantage in the case of Freedom and Carrick is going to be absolutely crucial. I'm looking at the rest of the field. I'm looking at some of the timings around. Ghost has interestingly gone onto soft tires, so it is going to be certainly a little bit aggressive with the strategy. If he's taking those to the end, he's going to have a difficult time because you're looking at about 50% for 9 laps, and that wasn't 9 complete laps. So to take it to the end from here, yes, you have a bit of a free break from the softs, but you're still talking about 60-65%. So you're either going to be losing place, any further than that, you might risk delamination.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Is he going to come in again, or is he going to try to go to the end? Or we get a position, try and get some time, come in then, hope he can fight back at probably sliding sword. It's a really big position. But the thing is that CG is only like a second and a half behind him, so I don't see the strategic advantage in that at all. Maybe you can take another position. It's an idea. Maybe if you can do something special, I don't know. Obviously, the safety car is gonna pile them all up together, assuming that they all get there in time. Because Mini Kai here, he's strolling around the park for some reason. I don't know why, but it's weird. But safety car obviously staying out, which allowed Freedom and Liam Carrick to catch back up. So interesting to see what's going to happen here, but. Again, Levante will have to get a very good start here. He'll have to hope that Liam and Freedom start fighting each other because they've got a few laps extra on those tyres.
Yeah, and those extra couple of laps are really going to pay dividends when it comes to the later stages of the race. Last few laps, fighting for top pace, that extra about half a second's worth of grip is going to make all the difference. You can see the rest of the field, because the safety car's out for another lap, I think the whole field, maybe Ghost and CG at a stretch, are going to make it back up to full queue, and we're going to see a condensed field once again. You can see him chasing down as we speak.
Yeah, I wonder, this Mini there was kind of very slow in that lap before. I wonder, was he trying to just hold up a little bit? Because he can do that, obviously. You don't have to go full tilt if you don't want to, but you have to, obviously there's a limit. Obviously you can't just slow down entirely if you haven't caught up to the pack. There is obviously a bit of a sweet spot there, but I think he's realised now there's no point in doing that. He might as well catch back up and see what happens when the restart. But yeah, Levante's going to need something special to happen. He's going to need a lot of things to go his way. He's going to need a battle behind him, and he's also going to need just to get away as quick as he can and get a good start. He's going to have to hope that when he goes, the other guys aren't ready for it, so he can get a 2 or 3 second lead coming in at the end of that lap.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course, because now we've got everyone back together. The band is back together. Ghost and CG have just joined the back there. Oh! What has happened there? I've completely lost control of the spec cam.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, no.
The game has just decided to take over. Because everyone is behind the safety car, I think. Yeah, I think the game has just decided in its infinite wisdom to take over. I don't know what's happened there.
That is kind of mental. We're safety car out for another lap as well, so... Maybe not. Sorry, that was the start of the lap. Sorry, I don't know why they showed the safety car thing at the start of the lap, but... haven't seen anything that's coming in yet, but we'll find out in the next few seconds if it's going to come in this lap or not. We'll find out. Doesn't look like it, but there you see Ghost. No, it is in this lap. It's coming in this lap, so, well, very late call to say it's coming in, but it's coming in. And Levante just holding the wall back here, just trying to get some time. Liam here is looking on the outside straight away. And Levante's gone at the start of the straight. And he's trying to get away here, but Freedom's right up in his tail. I don't think that was the right decision by him at all. I think he needed to go a little bit sooner. But they're all together, all three of them, the 3 main contenders, not side by side, but in a straight line. Of course, that's helping Freedom and Liam as well, of course, with the slipstream. So they'll be absolutely delighted with that. But Levante couldn't get away, and now he's got to fight for his life here for the next 10 laps or so.
Yeah, he's really going to be at his wit's end. You can see jumping up to lap 17 now, so we got control back. That was, say, just a feature of the game that I think this is the first time I've genuinely seen. But Levante's gone straight off. Look at him, he's completely in the gravel, and he's all the way down in P6. What just happened there?
I have no idea what happened, but the big winner of this whole situation is Mini Kai. He's absolutely delighted. Of course, he came in under a safety car as well, so he's going to have the same amount of tires the other guys have, but can he keep challenger perhaps would be the dark horse in this race, but Levante has had an absolute mare, and now he's in P6. He's like P6, and he's 2.5 seconds down on Ghost. But of course, the penalties or Ghost will help him, but you expect him to catch up. But he's out of this race pretty much effectively for the first place. But Mini Guy is saying, nah, lads, you're not shaking me that easy. Mini Guy's going hard up the inside. He's going to lose position. But Liam is going to lose time. Freedom gets helped out by Mini being an absolute madman.
Yeah, I think he took way too much speed. They really overestimated the brakes, and he's paid for it dearly, as is Liam Carrick, because he's got completely blindsided, and now he's out of that crucial range. Liam Carrick, though, getting 5 seconds, but corner cutting. I don't know what's happening here. It seems like the forces of nature have once again come in. Well, I say forces of nature, but Spa we had Stick Drift, and then you had last race as well. But yeah, once again, Liam Carrick is getting dealt a bad hand for what should be, by all accounts, a fairly quiet race for him.
I don't know why he's at the penalty. That seemed like it was forced by Mini Kai. I'm not sure why he leaves with the penalty. That may be overturned, but I'm unsure there why that's the case. I don't see anything that Liam did wrong decision. He's after snapping a lot, and Mini's gonna get a bite out the outside. I think Liam will defend, thankfully, but no, Mini's got ahead. What has happened, Liam? Oh, someone's gone into the wall!
Yeah, that is complete wipeout for Ghost. That is safety car number 2. He's completely wiped out. I think he had a collision. Wait, was that a collision with Silent Sword, or was that just off his own power? I think he was off his own power there.
No, he just looked like he went sideways. It didn't look like anyone else did it. It just looks like he got on the apex, got spat out really hard. He just went into the wall. It's another safety car. And Levante, we thanking his lucky stars, it's the P4 now, so he can have another bite here again. And I come in. I think Levante come in here.
Freedom's come in. Liam Carrick's come in. And you're watching everyone else. What the leader does is how it goes. And in this case, they're all coming in. There's no two ways about it. Especially Silent, because he's missing a few parts.
Yeah, he missed a few parts, but he gets back to the pit lane, so he'll be delighted with that. He doesn't care. He's still alive in the race, and he's only P5, so everyone but Freedom has gone on the softs. Freedom's staying on the medium. Interesting choice there. Especially 8 laps to go. I don't know, especially because you're going to have that safety car as well for at least probably 2 or 3 laps, helping you out in terms of keeping the wheels straight. So has Freedom made a weird decision there? I don't agree with that. Do you agree with that? I would go soft there.
I would have gone soft personally as well, because you're going to be coming out lap 20, 21. By that point, the softs are going to have heat. The softs are going to be the tire that you want to be on. And everyone is going to have a real grip advantage. Like the 6 laps, about 30% wear. You're not seeing any speed degradation, and certainly not going to have an advantage with a medium compound tire. So I'm questioning that decision just as much as you are here.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. And that could cost them as well. Levante somehow from the pit has got up to second.
Yeah, that's a heck of a jump there. But say once again under the safety car, we're going to be coming through. I think jumping ahead to the safety car restart if the previous behavior is anything to go by.
Yeah, it's also weird as well that both, like, there's one wall on this whole track that if you hit, it's going to cause safety car. They've both hit it. They've both hit the same wall. I don't know how, but it's happened. And you see that, I don't know why, like, no one cares. In F1 it's different because we obviously want to see what the car is like, real F1, and the driver's okay, but on an esports sim, I don't want to see the car being towed off. I don't really care about that. No offense, but AUEA, get that fixed, please.
Yeah, I think I would like to see just a little bit of immersion seeing the car towed off. I don't know. I'm torn on that myself because I think it would be a cool little immersion. Freedom saying that he forgot about the sauce. He had the compound in the bank, but he forgot to put it on. He went on a medium. So now he's going to have to put everything on this restart, and he gets a pretty good one, to be fair. He's got quite the jump on the field. The Mini Kai's got into the pit. Why has he done that? He's only on he's on the freshest softs of the lot. Why has he gone into the pit now?
I have no idea. It doesn't even matter at this stage as well because everyone's on the softs. Everyone's got good softs apart from Freedom, who's made a big no-no, a big brain fart there. You know, just forgetting that softs are there and it can be used. There's only like a few laps left. There's 6 laps essentially. You're already seeing the speed difference between Levante and him, and Liam as well has come and taken that corner very aggressively. It's worked out beautifully for him as well. And his penalty has been overturned. You see that there. His penalty's been overturned as well.
Yeah, penalty's been cleared off his record, as is everyone's penalties and warnings, it looks like. So we don't think we're going to see any more penalties, although we could very much be proven wrong. Yeah, Freedom's going to have to put on the defensive drive of his life right now because Levante's breathing down his neck. Well, luckily, I don't think we're going to see DRS play much of a factor. It's only going to come into effect, I think, from lap 23 onwards. So not much DRS moves to be seen here, but still you can see from Levante, he's got the pace and he's got the advantage there. He's already putting up a real good fight.
Yeah, there you see the soft power again. He's never going to take that chicane on the outside. It's never going to happen, but he's making Freedom question it anyway. He's making Freedom think about it, and he might get him here on this turn, but Freedom has taken up the other side of the lap, but he's trying to get that inside as cut off as he can. Wheel to wheel, Levante going through, but has he got it? No, he hasn't. He's got off the track, and Liam now can have a bite as well. What an interesting restart to this race. 6 laps still to go. This is the 6th last lap, of course, so very interesting to see what's going to happen here, but not giving up an inch's Freedom. Very aggressive on that defensive line in that start-finish straight. Good to see, but how often can he do that, especially with DRS being activated next lap?
How much can he keep this up? With the DRS is going to be a completely different level of difficulty. And he's already struggling to stave them off as it is. They're frequently getting within that 2/10, single tenth range. And that is certainly putting some pressure on him. Liam Carrick is going to be a bit of a wild card in this scenario because just as Levante's attacking Freedom, Liam Carrick's going to be attacking Levante. And you can see him almost keep a careful watch on these two. Look at his movements. Look at how he's trying to sort of read where those two are going to go. And then, especially as we come to the start-finish straight, he's going to try and either break the toe or he's going to try and get a little bit of an advantage and creep up a bit closer to them.
Yeah, for certain. He's staying back for now. He doesn't need to. Levante's gone very aggressive again. He's got up the inside. Has he got it? No, he hasn't. Freedom somehow manages to stay alive again. But here comes Levante once more. This time he's got a lot more of the straight. And he can't go. DRS is going to be activated this lap, of course. But look at Freedom again. What good defensive driving from him. But how long can he keep that up? And with DRS now activated, it looks like his lead is going to be very, very short-lived.
Yeah, that lead is going to be under severe threat, but he is really doing a good job here. He's doing a great job just keeping him at bay. The classic move of heading to the inside and then ducking a little bit out, but still making it just hard enough for his opponents to go on the inside of him. Because the command of turns 1 and 2 sets yourself up for half the lap, and he knows that. So he's doing a real good job here of just managing where his opponents are going to be, making sure that they have just enough room to push their advantage, but not enough to make anything of it.
Exactly. That's where things are nicely done as well by him there. Perfectly in the laws, just backed up a little bit on that corner, took a bit of a deeper break, and they have to really check their own braking line as well, and that allowed Freedom to pull a little bit, but Levante's right back on his tail, doing very nice. Levante here can have a look up the inside. He will have a look up the inside. He might get it here. He will get it here. Freedom is just barely behind, but he kind of got a penalty there as well, and Levante will take the lead for now, but of course, the problem with that is that now you're giving Freedom some DRS so he can stay within the range.
Yeah, you can stay within that fighting, that striking distance, but with a really good run out of the last chicane, I don't know how much is going to make for Freedom's case here. You can see he is closing time. He is going to go to the outside. He is going to get significantly alongside, but he's not going to have the run because, again, like we saw with Freedom just a couple laps earlier, and now Levante playing the exact same strategy. If you've got the command of the Apex at turns 1 and 2, you're practically locked in until at least the 2 Degners.
Pretty much indeed. It's a great place to be right now for Levante. He's going to want to pull away here a little bit as much as he can as well in these few turns, especially in Sector 2, if he can really get ahead of Freedom, and of course Liam right behind him. Freedom snapping a little bit there coming out of that corner. So is Levante, but Liam took it very smoothly, and then Liam right up in the rear of Freedom, and he maybe could have had a look there because Freedom took that turn very defensively, And if Liam was a bit more brave, but there's no point being brave at this stage. Still plenty of laps to go, and he's got that DRS as well. Of course, Freedom, as long as he stays in that 1 second, will have that DRS. The problem is, he's on the worst tires. He's not going to get the same speed that Liam is anyway, so he's got to defend probably coming into that turn. So interesting, Liam's going to try and fight ahead of him now. He's got the pace, he's got the inside as well. Can he make the turn stick? He can indeed. Freedom, though, going to keep the fight up. Freedom going to wheel to wheel into this chicane. Freedom takes one. Liam, very aggressive, choosing that chicane, does get ahead. The problem is now, is he going to be inside DRS? Is only just barely is. I don't know if he is. Is he in DRS? Yes, he is. It just seems just about, but Levante's gone away. Now it seems like Levante here is going to be taking championship lead if he just drive clean for the next 3 laps, which he hasn't been able to do sometimes through this race, so not over until it's over.
Yeah, Freedom could have an advantage here as well because he's got just a little bit more ERS than his opponent, and as we know and as you said earlier, you lose power, you lose recharge ability if you go below 10%. So Freedom could have a vital opportunity here. You can see with Liam Carrick on the recharge, he's got himself on the ropes here and looking fairly snappy. That soft compound should be giving him the most grip, but it seems like he's overdoing it a little.
Little bit indeed. It's actually Freedom who's got the issue with it. The ERS is on just over 20%, so we're actually on board with Freedom at the moment in terms of the telemetrics. So it's actually him who's got the problem with the ERS, but definitely Liam is feeling the pressure here, and Levante is taking away. But can he get back to the DRS zone? He's only about 7-10 hundredths of a second away from it. Levante's pulled away there nicely in that turn. It's going to take a lot for Liam to fight back now. Of course, Freedom, as long as he can stay on that second mark or even get up to 3 tenths or 4 tenths, he could have Liam on the back foot, and that's going to help Levante as well. So interesting to see what's going on. It seems like Levante, as long as he stays clean to win this race, is now a battle for P2.
Yeah, but look at him. He's completely on the ropes. He's running on empty, and he's not only going to lose DRS, but he's going to lose ERS, and Freedom's breathing down his neck. You can see he's right close to the back, but interestingly, he's chosen not to go. I think he's banking it all on that last lap charge.
I mean, blame Peter Gagne as long as he stays here in the zone. He's going to be grand. Of course, we know he's got the ERS advantage. He may not know that, so Liam's not going to have to show anything, not going to have to give him any tells, because if he does, Freedom will take full advantage of it. But Levante looks like he's going to take it here. He's pulling away. He's got a 1.2 second lead currently, and you see Liam there. Oh, Levante goes sideways. He does manage to keep control of the car, but he's going to lose a little bit of time because of that. And again, as I said before, Levante is not being clean throughout this track so far, so we've seen a few errors from already, but he's going to have to hold on here to the very end. But Liam is now right back within ERS range, and all of a sudden, from looking pretty clean to being right back in a dogfight, it's going to be come to the wire here, maybe.
Yeah, I think Freedom kind of wanted Levante to get a perfect lap down, because now Liam Carrick's going to have DRS, and that kind of throws his strategy into shambles, even where he was losing a little bit of space, where Liam Carrick was just burning his battery. You can see that 0%. He's been on 0% the last 3 laps. He's just burning everything he has. But now that he's within that strike distance for the DRS, or is he? No, he's not got it. He lost it just on the precipice. Could Freedom get a close enough time? Could he get the gap down? He is going to close in, but I don't think he's going to do it.
It's definitely not. Levante's just been clean during this last lap. He's clean. He's going to win the race and take the championship lead. And Liam will extend his over Freedom, but it doesn't matter because Levante will be taking that championship lead for now with 2 races to go. It's all about Liam now. Can he keep this? Can he keep it clean? Can he keep it safe? Can he just... Pole's gone. P1's gone unless he does something absolutely crazy, but I wouldn't be doing anything crazy if I'm him. I'd be thinking about the championship right now. Don't think about the P1 here. Just keep yourself second. Put yourself within striking distance in the next race of Levante and put more gap between you and Freedom. That should be the goal right now.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what he's trying to optimize to do. Even if he's just running his battery within the ragged edge, he's doing everything he can to keep Freedom at bay for as long as he can. Because if he can stay far enough away, he's not going to get any slipstream, and he can't catch him on the sections like here, coming up to 130R. He's going to stave off potentially about 1/10.5 of gain, even with the new regulations that came in not too long ago, this new era of cars. they do still have slipstream, they do still have a little bit of dirty air, and that is something we can exploit with Freedom.
Oh,
He
Freedom's gone
reset.
sideways.
He's reset, and that is going to be Levante coming in to cross the line with Liam Carrick coming in P2. Freedom is going to just about make it home into P3, but what a scare at the end. What a scare. And of course, playing a little bit of bowling just to finish off as you come across the line in traditional League racing fashion.
Absolutely. He's awesome. When he went into the wall at the end of the race, once he won, he's done it again here. But what a race. In terms of excitement, absolutely brilliant. In terms of driving skill, it was a lot of mistakes from a lot of different people. I don't think anyone had a proper clean race. But in the end of the day, a very exciting race again. Second week in a row, we had a very exciting race. But Levante not only takes the race, but he also takes the championship lead away from Liam. Liam will go to second, and Freedom will drop to third. Levante gets driver of the day, and I don't know who would be the actual driver of the day.
Yeah, and what a race it was. I don't know, like, driver of the day for me, that will start with you. What would, considering the absolute roller coaster that this race has been, two safety cars, everyone jumping, bottom of the field, top of the field, who's your, I guess, driver of the week here, or driver of the day?
It's obviously the top three out of between them. I don't think I can give it to Liam. I think if Freedom hadn't spun at the end, I would have given it to him. So I'm actually going to say Levante. I think Levante, even though he made a few mistakes, I think just the way he tactically ran that race and at times was pulling away, I think he deserves it. But it's very close to being the top three. I think if Freedom hadn't spun at the end, I would have given it to him. But I think that spin at the end kind of ruined it for me. So I think I'll give it to Levante.
Yeah, I think I was going to say Levante as well, is that at the end of the day, everyone had some kind of mistake this race. Everyone. But Levante is the one who sort of picked his socks up. He said, right, I'm not going to let it define my race. Luckily, he had safety cars in his corner. I don't think he would have won without it, because he did have like a bit of a time deficit that he had to make up in a lot of places. But you can see here, Levante with P1, driver of the day for me. Liam Carrick P2, Freedom P3, Silent Sword in P4, CG and Minikai rounding off the grid, and then Ghost and Nico unfortunately not making it home, but that is where we stand and that is where we leave it for tonight. So what a race, what a race indeed. And that is quite the Japan as far as races go from Japan. We certainly had a wild one.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Great race, though. Absolutely fantastic from all the competitors again. You know, I know the mistakes from everybody, but I think I'll have the excitement of it. And, you know, the three at the top constantly fighting each other, constantly battling each other. And ultimately, you know, it was Levante who came out on top in that battle. But, you know, it makes everything interesting now. Levante obviously going to be on 109 points. Liam is going to be on 106. And Freedom's going to be on 103. So only 6 points separating first and third again. It's gone out a little bit, but you know, still only 6 points between first and third. So it's going to come down to those final two races, and we'll see what happens. But another great race. I'm excited for next week now.
Yeah, I'm very excited for next week as well. And next week is reportedly we're heading to LaSalle. So one of the new tracks for this game. And one of the new tracks for me, I've never had the chance to watch a league race on LaSalle. I won't be in the booth. You will, of course, have Rando back in the booth. But I'm looking forward from the production side of things. I'll be having my little goggles on. I'll be having my little telemetries open, and I'm going to be watching with some popcorn. You have fun out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be more fireworks next week for sure. And you know, obviously, and then obviously the last week, because the championship days go to the last week. We know that for certain. There's no unless Liam and Freedom don't finish and Levante wins, it's going to the final race. So, you know, it's gonna be a spicy 2 weeks for sure. And you know, and then the thing is, well, the Aston Marine is the day before LAN, so it's gonna be a nice little appetizer for that LAN in Dublin.
Oh, we love to see it. It is, yeah, quite the appetizer indeed. But from us at Ireland Esports Collegiate Series, and thanks to the team at Natives, we're saying goodnight for the night. You've been amazing, Mark him up, as always. Absolute legend to have in the box. And we will see you next week for LaSalle and for the penultimate round. Keep it Ireland Esports, and keep it here. F1 Fridays. God, I love F1 Fridays.
Me too. Good night, guys.
Take care, folks. You've been amazing. See you next time.